Tonight, it's NASCAR Busch Series racing from Indianapolis. Just across town from the Brickyards, it's Indianapolis Raceway Park, a smaller 6/10 of a mile cousin of the famed track. Though lacking the glory of the bigger speedway, IRP gives nothing away where action is concerned. The fender mashing tempered Boylan racing this track's become known for fills the grandstands. And drivers, well, they get filled with excitement too. In hurry-up mode tonight here at IRP, here's your look at the starting lineup. Shane Meal has taken advantage of a provision in the rule book. Even though he's on the pole, he's starting on the outside front row for the green in this one.
And back in Mike Bliss back in row 9, and look back in row 10 on the inside, the NASCAR Busch Series points leader, Scott Riggs.
And the rest of the starting field for tonight's race from Indianapolis Raceway Park, 43 strong, set to go 200 laps on this 6/10 of a mile track. And we'll see how much, let's see, we got 43 cars, 4 fenders apiece. We'll see how many of them are intact by the time we get done.
It'll be a lot less, I guarantee you.
I'm not doing the math on that. I'll just let you add that up at home. Thank you very much. Great crowd on hand tonight, as always, here at IRP, and they're all standing up right now as the field comes off turn 4 for the green flag, and the Kroger 200 is underway.
Kyle Busch in the 800 Ditech car.
Got just fine. Just ahead of Jason Keller.
Shane Meal really took advantage of that outside line, got a great start, and kind of moving away a little bit.
Shane Meal the leader, David Green second, Brian Vickers third. Fourth is Kyle Busch. Kevin Grubb pressuring him there for fifth. Looking back, here's Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 25 and Mike Skinner in the 7 for 8th and 9th.
And this is Tim Fedewa on board the Supercuts car.
12 machine running back in 17th.
And Skinner in that 7 car on the inside trying to go forward, but Elliott's a tough plowing down there.
It is. It's just so flat down there on the bottom. You got to root around a little bit. Mike Skinner's a veteran. He'll definitely be able to do that. And he's moving up. He has passed a few cars and making his way to the front.
Mike Skinner's first NASCAR Busch Series race since September 22nd, 2001. Didn't have any ride a couple of weeks ago. This weekend he's running 3 times. Right? Ran the Craftsman truck here last night. The Busch Series race tonight. He's in the Brickyard 400 tomorrow. That's Martin Truex.
Martin Truex Jr. in the 58 car. Joey Clanton in the 27 trim spot trying to get by and is about to lose a spot on the inside. That's Casey Kane behind him trying to get by. Back to Hamilton Jr.
It's tough. You just got to set the guys up so like a corner before here. You really got to get a good run at them going down the back stretch or front stretch. Try to roll up under them in the middle of the corner and pray for that forward bite. I think you're going to hear a lot about forward bite tonight as these guys get their tires nice and hot as long as we run on the green flag conditions.
Ron Hornaday in the 2 trying to move up. Qualified back in 16th position. And Hamilton Jr. being persistent, trying to get by David Stremme in the 1. How about 5th place? Jason Keller putting some pressure on Kevin Grubb.
He's on the inside, but you just can't get the grip down there that you can on the outside. You run out of banking.
You run out of banking. You see how it's flat under the white dotted line right there. When he tries to go across, it loosens the car up too much. Kevin Grubb gets a good run off the corner. You got to settle back in behind him, and you got to try him again here in a few laps.
Nice job by Kevin Grubb qualifying. 5th place for that team.
Great job for Kevin, those guys. They need a good run. They've had some bad luck here lately, so hopefully they'll have a good time tonight.
Fellow Virginian.
Raced against him in late model some and had a great time doing it. So hopefully, I'm kind of pulling for him. All the Virginia guys.
He's doing a good job to hang on to that spot over Jason Keller, who obviously has a little bit faster car right now. Check a little farther back. David Stremme in the 1. Home state Indiana guy.
And looks like Jason Keller is going to finally get by Kevin Grubb in the 26.
Now, nice and smooth.
Took him a few laps. He probably didn't burn his tires up too bad, though, and got a nice clean track ahead of him, and I bet you we'll see him pull away here.
So Jason Keller up to 5th place, and Kevin Grubb back to 6th. Keller got a little bit of ground to make up to catch 4th place Kyle Busch. He's about a 1.5 seconds behind him. So So Shane Meal got the jump on the start and has led all of the 9 laps we've completed so far. David Green trying to close in and put on a little bit of pressure for the #1 spot. At Indianapolis Raceway Park, Shane Meal in the 48 leads. Just underway here, 16 laps complete, but David Green is putting an awful lot of pressure on him.
He's putting lots of pressure on him, and Shane Meal's trying to figure out which line to take to pass these lap cars, and a couple of times it looks like he has chosen the wrong one, but David Green has tried, but not able to pass him so far.
Yeah, David's doing a good job just following through the traffic, letting Shane make the holes, use his tires up, David following through, save a little rubber in case he can try to make a clear up track pass here in a little bit.
Elliott Sadler joining BP and I for tonight's race. Elliott going to start the Brickyard 400 in 16th position tomorrow. We'll talk to you about that a little bit later on. Meantime, got a good race going here for the lead and in some heavy lap traffic.
I'll tell you, Brian Vickers is closing in on the leaders also. They're going to have a 3-way battle here in a minute, and I think it's whoever chooses the right lines through the lap cars is going to make a big difference.
It's 49 car, Tammy Jo Kirk, they're going by. Oh, we got a big crash over turn 3.
Trouble turn 3.
And there, call set the line.
Stacy Compton, Martin Truex, and Joey Clanton. And the caution's out for the first time. Well, you knew it was just a matter of time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised it went this long, actually.
Those guys are racing hard, too.
Yeah. All right, let's check it out. Joey Clanton, who got his first top 5 Busch Series finish of his rookie season a week ago.
And you can tell folks that noise is not good. Oh, my goodness.
He got it both ends. All right, what happened?
That's him trying to get under the 58 car. Just got in the corner a little bit too hard, make contact, and both cars back around the fence, and Stacy Compton had no place to go except in the wreck.
That happens a lot here, though, Benny. When you get in on that apron going into turn 3, you'll see his left side tires go under this white line. Going in here, and he goes in a little hard, tries to slide into him, and the back end comes around on him, hit him, and that's it.
What is it Schrader likes to say? He took the air off his spoiler, and then he hit him. Back underway.
Boy, and I tell you, the 48 car of Shane Meal did not get a very good start.
It looks like he kind of missed a shift or something, Benny. They all stacked up a little bit, but looks like he's got it going now, and the guy's getting back racing again.
Now, they're going to be free of lap traffic for a few circuits around. Probably a good opportunity for David Green if he can try and do anything with Shane. Although on the opening few laps after the green flag, Shane got away, and David didn't catch him until they got into lap traffic.
Yeah, Shane's car is definitely great on short runs. That's probably why he qualified on the pole today. But we'll have to wait and see. David was able to run him down here a little while ago, and we'll see if he can do it again.
And check out this 2 car of Ron Horn today. We'll go back to the race for 3rd spot between Hendrick Motorsports drivers, the 5 car Brian Vickers, the 87 of Kyle Busch.
I tell you, I've been very impressed with Brian Vickers this year. He's had a great season. Had terrible luck last week at Pikes Peak getting into somebody else's accident, but great finishes. I think he's right on the verge of his first win here in the Busch Series.
Brian lost 58 points with that crash at Pikes Peak last week, but he's still 5th place in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship and only 124 points behind leader Scott Riggs, so he's right in the thick of it.
Oh, blown engine in turn 1. 73 car.
Jason Schuler.
No caution yet.
I say a blown engine. It might have been a transmission, drive shaft, something like that.
Yeah, look at underneath.
I think that's a drive shaft dragging the ground.
And that drive shaft is tied up like a pretzel if it is. So Jason Schuler goes to the sidelines, but we stay under the green flag. Now, we're starting to get to a point in the race where a couple things are happening. First, I started to mention the leaders have caught the tail end of the field again. Second, we're about to hit 50 laps. Another caution here, and we're going to see a lot of pit stops. This is a race where track position is everything, and we may see an awful lot of guys just make one trip to pit road for service in this race.
Yeah, they may try to run 150 laps without stopping.
I tell you, we were talking about earlier, I had 2 great finishes here 2 years in a row, and the strategy we had before we even loaded our car on the truck to come to this racetrack, when we know we could go the rest of the way on fuel, we pit, and that's it. I could cut my radio off. I could not come back to pit road because track position is so important here at this racetrack. So I think you're going to see a lot of guys pit when the next caution comes out. If the guys are running further in the back, they might take 2 tires to try to get up front. We'll definitely see the front guys take 4 and see what happens.
Mark, you got something to add to that?
Well, one driver, one of the top contenders, Alan, may have already made that one pit stop. Johnny Sauter, the Payday Chevrolet, very, very tight. So they felt like they had to come in. They changed right side tires. However, they came in a couple of laps later when the 1 to go signal went out. They topped off, and that was on lap 27 that they came in. They believe they can go the rest of the way. They are counting on the fact they will get 15 to 20 laps of caution. If they get it, they're golden. If not, they're going to run out very close to the end of the race.
How about that?
Wow.
That's a long ways on fuel.
That is a very, very long ways. And at the end of that run, his tire, he's going to be slipping and sliding all over the racetrack with the tires as worn as they're going to be.
Tell you what, we haven't had very many cautions for a normal IRP race yet, but the night is still young. Challenge and change for second position. Brian Vickers just squeezing in front of David Green as we come back to Indianapolis Raceway Park in the Kroger 200.
And here comes Jason Keller in that 57.
I tell you, that 57 is running. He has run these guys down. You see him look under David Green there for a pass in turn 3 and 4. Probably going to get around this lap card and try to start working on him and try to work his way up, try to get 5 bonus points.
Just behind these cars, Bobby Hamilton Jr. back on track in the 25 car. Unfortunately, 28 laps down in 38th position. Costly night in the championship for Hamilton Jr. All right, let's go back to this pack of cars here. You got Tim Fito on the 12 in 12th position.
Paul Menard in 55.
13th.
Scott Riggs in the 10 car.
Yep, that's your championship leader back at 14. These cars have not pitted yet. Stacy Compton in the 59. Remember, he was in the accident. But the only caution we've had, lap 21, when he basically spun around to avoid piling into Joey Clanton and Martin Truex. Came down pit road, put on fresh tires, started at the back of the pack. He just went through all of these cars on the fresh tires, passed them all.
He sure did. On a track where it's not supposed to be easy to pass, he blew right by some really good race cars and is pulling away from them. So I really commend Stacy and those guys for getting the fenders all pushed back out and fresh tires. And hey, that's something to look forward to for the end of the night's over with. If fresh tires are that fast, see what kind of pit strategy these guys will have.
And that's what we're talking about by Johnny Sauter just a moment ago in the 21 car. If Busch is expecting, the crew chief Busch Hilton is expecting him to run 160, 70 laps, he's going to be really slipping and sliding versus the competition.
Last year's race here, Greg Biffle and Jason Keller were the two dominant drivers in cars on the night. They pitted with 25 laps to go for tires, restarted 6th and 7th, and took the lead away from Scott Riggs with 10 laps to go. Now, Riggs had a tire going down, which helped them catch him a little faster than it might. It was going to be really close, I thought. Be interesting to see who makes that late pit stop and tries to make the big charge through the field tonight.
I think it makes a big difference, too, on how many cars are on the lead lap when you get down to that stage of the race. If Shane Meal keeps running these lap times and catching these cars like he is, with less cars on the lead lap, I think you have a better shot of doing that, coming in late, putting fresh tires on it, and taking your chances with it.
Right now, we only have 22 cars on the lead lap.
Uncharacteristically long time under green for this race. 43 cars on this racetrack, and we've only had 1 caution.
These guys are behaving very well.
It must not be a full moon or something. I don't know. Record for fewest cautions in one of these races, by the way, is 0. 1985, this Kroger 200 went caution-free here at IRP. Again, that's not the norm. Most cautions, 13.
Yeah, that's what I was always thinking of. An average of probably 6 or 7 caution flags per event.
NASCAR on TNT at Indianapolis Raceway Park, where Brian Vickers in the 5 is all over the bumper of Shane Meal in the 48 for the race lead.
He's been trying to pass him on the inside. That time they ran across Brent Moore and blocked the advance of the 5 car, but he's going to try to get off turn 4. Mark, what you got going on in the pits?
Well, Benny, the 48, that is a brand new car. They decided after Milwaukee they needed something better for the short tracks, and Steve and Shane talked them into building a drop snout car. They finished it on Wednesday, took it to Greenville Pickens on Thursday in South Carolina. Ran about 30 laps. Shane said, I really love the way this car pivots in the corner, and they were good to go. They brought it here, and obviously it's an improved piece over what they had in Milwaukee. Right behind them, Brian Vickers has had a pretty busy week. Of course, he's 19 years old. His teammate back in 5th, Kyle Busch, is 18. And they went and talked to a bunch of other school kids in Philadelphia early this week at the Urban Youth Racing School. There were kids there from 8 to 18, and that's a school sponsored by GMAC to introduce city kids to racing. They trained them to drive a miniature car. So they went from Philadelphia, and they bopped over here to Indy.
Fantastic.
I noticed Mark said other school kids. Kyle and Brian are both young enough to be school age still.
I tell you, he's steady working on him. He's up under him right now, getting off turn 2. But they get ready to get into a lot of lap traffic also. So we'll see what kind of moves these guys can make.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be big here.
85 cars, John Hayden, last car in the lead lap in 21st position.
29 car is Marty Lindley.
Son of the great Butch Lindley.
That's right, who was a dominant figure in this NASCAR Busch Series race in the sportsman division before that.
I remember going to South Boston Speedway as a kid, watching him run that orange 16 round and round at that place, playing in the dirt and watching those guys go around. So I was a big fan of his father's.
For now, Vickers got held up getting through the traffic a little bit more. And so he's off Shane Meals' bumper a little. That 29 car is a Richard Childress Racing entry for Marty Lindley. Marty had arranged the ride with Richard because he had a sponsor to come do the race. Then the sponsor backed out of the deal, and RC said, let's go do it anyway.
Very, very nice of him. Again, I talked to Richard Childress just before this race and out down the garage area, and he also was a fan of Butch Lindley.
That's just great class. I mean, Richard Childress has been around this sport a long time. He knows the ups and downs of sponsorships and young guys trying to make their way into the sport. So that's great of him to go ahead and let Marty come here, get some laps, get some great experience. So definitely commend him on that.
Marty Lindley spending most of his time in the USAR Series, the Hooters Cup Series. He's third in their championship so far this season. So the leader's gotten by him, put him a lap down. Marty's running in 20th spot now. Now the second place man, Brian Vickers, trying to hold off David Green for that spot as they continue in this heavy pack of traffic.
Mike Wallace in the 4 car, trying to keep him going a lap down to Shane Meal in 48, trying his best.
I tell you, we talked about the 21 car, Johnny Sauter coming in, getting tires, see if he can go the rest of the way on fuel. He is not a long ways from getting a lap down right now, so if this fuel thing's going to pay off, he definitely has to stay ahead of the 48 car.
He hadn't made any progress on those tires, not like Stacy Compton did.
Maybe the car's still tight. Herb and Butch Hilton, the car was too tight. They made the adjustments. Maybe it's just not working out for them as what they planned so far.
He's 18th place, and now he is last on the lead lap, Johnny Sauter. So he needs a caution right now.
So David Green would love to win this race tonight.
Scott Wimmer having a great drive tonight. You see he's gained more positions than anyone else in the field so far. Maybe he's the guy that's going to win the race in the championship. What do you think, Mark?
Well, Alan, certainly last year at the end of the year, the hottest team on the planet won 4 of the last 8 races, and it looks like they're again getting ready for a second half surge. I just talked to crew chief Chris Rice. He said the car's a little tight, needs a little bit more bite coming off the corners. Otherwise, they're in pretty good shape.
I tell you, I talked to Chris Rice this afternoon, and he said his car was a little loose in qualifying, but they needed it like that to be good tonight on the long run, and he really felt confident about his car, him and Scott both, and seems to be paying off. Scott is really moving up and been checking his lap times. He's running 2 to 3 tenths quicker than our leader's been doing, so good. He's moving up.
You get some history with Chris, right?
I do. Chris Rice used to be my crew chief in late model stock cars, and I started doing Busch racing, so I was so happy when he won his first ever Busch race last week with Scott. I called him. Plus, they brought in my cousin to spot tonight, who used to spot for me in late models in Busch racing. He spotted for Scott last week. They won the race. They brought Sam in again tonight, so he might be the good luck charm.
Not taking any chances. Check it out. David Stremme in the 1 has just been lapped by the leaders, and he's not going down easy.
No, he knows if those guys ever get in front of him, it's
And they have, and he realizes, but he's got to try to keep up with him as best he can, because if the caution flag were to come out, maybe they'd be gentlemen and let him have a lap back. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I'm like Alan. Not much gentleman stuff going on the racetracks here the last few months in racing. It's been a lot of hard racing back to the line.
But what do you think about that?
I think we need to do something about it. I mean, gentlemen agreements were made with, Darrell Waltrip, Kel Yarber, and people like that. Back then, when you always try to give the guys a break if they wreck, to get the crews, the firemen out to the drivers. I wish NASCAR, they're trying to work on it, but until they can get something that's 100% foolproof as far as freezing the field when the caution comes out. I think all the drivers will be better off. We want to, when we see one of our peers getting a wreck, we want to see the fire and safety get to them as quick as we can. So hopefully something in the near future will happen with that.
Battle for the lead. Here comes Vickers. He's a little bit faster now than Shane Meal in his 48 car. If he can get in front of him, I think he can drive away. But catching and passing, as we keep talking about, two entire different things.
So you got him this time. Coming up on another slower car down on the inside lane.
That's hurting Brian a lot. Seems like every time he tries to get some momentum up, they run into the back of a slow car who will stand on the inside of the track, taking his line away. He has to get behind Shane and follow him for a couple more laps.
So Vickers has to give it up this time and fall back in line as they work through the traffic.
Oh, Shane Meal almost in the outside retaining wall.
We talked about when we came on the air, weather was threatening. There have been thunder showers all in and around Indiana throughout the night tonight. When they come to the start-finish line this time, they hit halfway in the race. Anything after that, if the weather interferes, we'll see.
On the apron.
On the apron of the racetrack, Brian Vickers in that 5 car. You know, Shane Meal has, his spotter has told him also, he's looked in the rearview mirror and seen the line that the 5 cars running. He moved down a couple laps to try that line and see if his car would pick up. But it doesn't appear as he liked it there. He moved back up the track now.
Yeah, I mean, every car's set up different, and I think he probably moved down 1 to take away Brian's entry into the corner, but 2, just to try to, hey, the 5 car's catching you, he's on the bottom, try this deal. Didn't work out, but Shane knows his car is good on the outside. He's going to make Vickers try to pace him on the bottom.
And we haven't even mentioned the 37 car who has caught these two. David Green, the Wolf.
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there in 3rd spot right behind these two guys.
You know, a lot of guys talk about their slipping and sliding. You know, Brian looking for that apron makes me think of Homestead, where we saw guys driving on the apron on that flat racetrack last year, saying that that's where the most grip on the pavement was.
That's exactly right. And what it does is just, you know, we race in the same line all the time, and that track temperature builds up from the heat of these Goodyear tires. So you go to the apron, the track temperature is a lot cooler there, you get more grip. Until at Homestead, everybody was running on the apron, so that became slick also.
How about that David Green car, Ralph?
Well, Alan, he was a little bit tight in the center of the corner, but that has gotten worse now. Now he's tight not only in the center, but he's tight off it as well. He also had a little bit of a problem with the water temperature. He got up to about 235 degrees, but they don't seem to be too concerned about it just yet.
Well, if he's too tight, that's working for him, because he's faster than those 2 cars in front of him.
As they run, David Green running in 3rd, Scott Riggs in 14th, and Jason Keller is in 4th place. Just joining us, haven't missed much here at IRP. Shane Meal in the 48 started on the pole. He's led all of the 105 laps they've completed so far. 1 caution flag in the race at lap 21 when Joey Clanton and Martin Truex Jr. got together in turn 3, collecting Stacy Compton. Clanton out of the race. Truex and Compton have continued. Lead lap 17 of the 43 starters. And the only other major headline of the night so far, Bobby Hamilton Jr. with an oil leak problem on his car has been in and out of the garage area a couple of times. He's back on track 59 laps down in 38th place.
Oh,
These guys are getting racy.
they are. Vickers had a terrific run on Shane Meal that time. Has another good run. Off turn 2.
Nope.
And we've been on the green a long time, guys, so forward bite here is a big issue right now. I know Vickers is probably wishing he had a little bit more. He gets on the apron, gets the car turned, and just can't let his car wash up and keep it straight enough. Spins the tires a little bit, and Shane pulls back around in front of him.
Oh, here we go. 77 car slid up in front of the leader, Dana White. Lead change in lap traffic.
Nice move.
Well, I'm going to throw that one on the lap car. Lap cars are supposed to stay on the bottom, and White got into the corner too hot and slid right up in front of the leader and boxed him in. But Brian Vickers able to take advantage and hang the left. And we've got a new leader here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Brian Vickers out in front. We're just past halfway, and we have been under the green for a long time. These guys would love to have some fresh tires. Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, the caution has just come out. We'll show you why in a minute. Here come the leaders for a much-needed stop on pit road, and probably the only stop they'll make this race.
So now becomes a battle. Who is going to win it off pit road? Scott Wimmer's there, Mark.
He's one of the first guys in, Benny. It looks like he sustained some right side damage. They've gone around and changed tires that way. They've also made an adjustment over there to try to loosen up the car just a little bit and give it a little bit more bite. They're on around the left-hand side, and now let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Brian Vickers, the race leader, is in. He's taking 4 tires and fuel. They're going to make an adjustment left side air. He was just a little bit tight with this car. Kerry Earnhardt stops just in front of him. David Green right in front of that. He's taking tires and fuel as well. And Vickers away, had trouble getting out in front of some of the guys from Kerry Earnhardt's crew, kind of blocking his exit a little bit, but he's away.
And Ron Hornaday, the 2 car, the AC Delco car, has won the battle off pit road.
Shane Meal stalled his car, hesitated a little bit leaving his stall, as did Jason Keller, but the big loser on that set of stops, David Green in the 37. He went in 3rd of the cars that stopped, 3, 6, 9. He's going to be 10th coming off pit road.
I tell you, pit crews, I mean, that's why those guys practice week in and week out, 7 days a week, to make sure when we come down pit road, those guys can get us back out in the position we came in. And this is what they live for. They want to see your driver come down in a running for the lead, and they can do the best they can and get you back out. It makes the guys pumped up.
All right, let's show you what put us under caution. Remember, the 77 car was the one that was involved in the change of lead a minute ago?
Dana White off turn 2, around he goes, and there's Scott Wimmer, the 23, just barely getting by. On board to Wimmer as he goes down in turn 1.
Safe to say you got a little help here. So track position changes hands on the pit stop. Ron Hornaday went in 5th, came out with the lead. Brian Vickers shuffled back to 2nd, followed by Shane Meal. Scott Wimmer moves up to 4th. Jason Keller 5th, David Green back to 10th behind Ashton Lewis, Stacy Compton, Kyle Busch, and Mike Skinner.
Here the cars come. Restart.
Flag, green flag, green flag.
Mr. Restart gets him a good jump as usual, Ron Hornaday.
Now let's see if he can hold off Vickers.
They had a great pit stop to put Ron out in the lead. He was not running that well coming in, and guys must have busted off a great one to give him that track position. And it's going to be tough passing him. He knows how to make that AC Delco car very wide.
Vickers is hunting.
He's turned left and just turned under the 2 car. Has position off turn 2.
He has not made the pass yet, though.
Thought he was going to slide up into him there for a second.
I did, too. He did a good job holding his car down. Here comes Shane Meal. This is what I was talking about earlier. He takes the chance on the bottom. If he does not complete the pass, Shane Meal will try to trap him down on the inside and follow the 2 car to 2nd place. So we'll see what happens.
Vickers knows right now is his best time with these fresh tires to get by Hornaday. If they put 20, 30 laps on those tires, get hot, he's going to be awfully hard to pass. But he's pretty hard to pass with these cold tires.
So you got him this time. Got those left side tires on that apron. The new leader, Brian Vickers. Coming into today, Shane Meal had only led 91 laps in his NASCAR Busch Series career.
Wow.
Led more than that here at IRP.
And he wants to get back to do it some more. 107 was not enough for him.
So Vickers back out in front. Here's Shane Meal for 2nd by Hornaday. The 1 car, David Stremme, is the first car a lap down in 18th place. Next one on the lead lap will be Scott Wimmer in the Stacker 2 car.
That's him as he closes in on the back of Stremme.
He doesn't want to mess with Stremme long. He wants to kind of get by him as quick as he can without using up his tires. I think he needs to save them. He wants to try to work his way up the battle with Vickers or Shane Meal.
75 laps to go here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Brian Vickers and Shane Meal back into the top 2 spots. Big mess in turn 1. Ashton Lewis, Kyle Busch. Caution flags out.
Looks like some pretty heavy damage to the back of Ashton Lewis's car. But it's moving. Also some damage to the left front.
I don't think it's going to roll too far. That thing looked like it took a bad bump going backwards there. Kyle Busch has a lot of right front damage.
3rd caution of the race. Kyle started 4th. Was running 11th, and Ashton was running 10th. So they were racing for that spot. Last lap by into turn 1. and it did not go well for them. It's tough for Ashton. He's really had a spate of late race misfortunes that have cost him a lot of good finishes this year.
He's really been running good too, and then just bad luck gets you sometimes. You get in that hole.
There we see him making contact, going down in the corner.
Kyle's going to feel bad about that.
Flag.
Oh,
Scott Wimmer had some problems getting up to speed. And look at Shane Meal to the inside for the race lead.
wow, he's going to come off turn 2 and lean against that 5 car. Now the slide job in 3.
These guys know the cooler the tires, now's the time you need to pass. So I think that's why Shane's taking this chance to try to get by him here on this restart.
Great battle for the lead in turn 1. But Vickers is not giving it up that easily.
Shane Meal is through. Whoa.
Clear.
How about a crossover? Vickers looks back to the inside. Nothing doing. Here comes Hornaday to join the fight. And Wimmer. Tell you, Wimmer, I don't know if he missed a shift on the restart or what, but he lost a bunch of ground on that restart. He's made it up fast.
His car was very good the first half of this race on the long run, and here he's trying to get on the Hornaday now for third. I think the older these tires get, I think the better that 23 car will get for the end of the race.
Scott Wimmer driving for Bill Davis for third position. And
he
through.
makes it.
He just drives by Hornaday. So those front 2 cars, they are going to have some company in a few laps. That company will be Scott Wimmer in the 23 car.
Jason Keller trying the same thing, getting under the 2 car here, going into back straightaway.
You know, there just gets to a point in a lot of these races where you just feel the intensity kick up a little bit. I think we hit it on that last restart.
I think those guys, they kind of sit in their seats, cinch them seat belts just a little bit tighter. They know it's getting down to business. It's go time.
63 laps to go when the leader comes to the start-finish line. This is the race for 4th, 5th, and Jason Keller still trying to work his way through Ron Hornaday. 57 and 2 are tied for third in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship, both 50 points behind Scott Riggs entering the night.
And they're about tied on the racetrack. I think Keller finally does make the pass in the 57 car.
All right, so Keller to 4th, Hornaday back to 5th, ahead of Stacy Compton and David Green, who runs 6th and 7th. Scott Riggs, no progress, still back in 15th place, and up front, it's still Shane Meal leading Brian Vickers. 3 leaders, 4 lead changes tonight so far. 60 laps to go at Indianapolis Raceway Park. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Got a good one going here tonight. About to hit the 3/4 mark of this race. Brian Vickers in the 5 is starting to poke his nose around the back of Shane Meal's 48 and see if he can get the lead away.
I think it's the same thing that we saw the first 125 laps of the race or so. Brian Vickers, the 5 car, is a little bit better on longer runs than the 48. 48's a little bit better on the shorter run. Now, Brian Vickers, he has a faster car. Can he pass it?
Yeah, and both these guys are very young, hadn't been racing that long. Shane Lee getting into some lap traffic, so you know he's looking ahead. He's got his spotter on the roof going to try to talk to these guys to give him some room to let those 2 guys battle it out. So we're getting into crunch time. Of course, Scott Wimmer's not that far behind him either, so we'll see what happens.
And they're in some big lap traffic here. 77 car Dana White. Leaders will clear him. And then another 4 lap machines just up ahead. It's how Brian Vickers got by Shane Meal before. Lap traffic ran Shane up the racetrack, and Brian hooked a left and went underneath him. That was back at lap 108.
And the last time, 100 laps ago or so, it was a 37 car of David Green right behind him. Now it's a 23 of Scott Wimmer that might actually be faster than the front 2 cars.
And the 57 of Jason Keller closing in 2. 22 machine Brian Tyler, former USAC open wheeler. A lot of laps here at IRP. He goes to the outside. And this got to be one of the things, Elliot, that's got to really be frustrating for these leaders. The lap cars aren't all doing the same thing. They're not all laying over to the inside or running the outside. They're kind of scattering around the racetrack.
Yeah, well, you notice that with some of these guys with these yellow bumper stripes on. They don't always know to try to go to the inside and give the leaders a break, because they always tell us in our drivers' meeting, hey, next week you might be in that position. You want the same respect that you need to give these guys this week. So I know Shane Meal probably learned a lesson at the beginning of the race when Brian Vickers got by him. So I know he's taking his time and trying to plan his passes out a little better to protect the racetrack and make Vickers passing, and kind of an open track.
Brian Vickers has been hunting and pecking and searching for a way around Shane Meal for the lead. He hasn't found it yet. Do a little mini through the field for you and let you know how the top 10 are faring with their cars right now. Ralph, you go first.
We'll start with the leader, the number 48 car, is Shane Meal. They went up on the track bar one round. He was a little tight, and they also put 4 tires on that car. Vickers went down on air pressure on the left side, trying to help it turn through the center of the corner. That's what crew chief Lance McGrew told me. He's also a little snug, but not too bad. They're pretty much just biding their time right now, trying to get a spot where they can get around him cleanly. With more on the third place car, that's Scott Wimmer. Mark Garrow?
Well, Scott Wimmer right now about 7/10 of a second behind the leader, Shane Meal. On that last pit stop, they tried to fix a tight condition and get the car more forward bite. It's still a tick tight, but it is jumping off the corners a lot better, and Wimmer thinks he can reel the top 2 cars in. Ralph?
Well, we've got Jason Keller in the 57 car running in fourth. They made a track car and an air pressure adjustment. He was tight in the center. He also stalled leaving pit road, but he seems to have bounced back from that okay. Stacy Compton in the 59 is running in 5th position. He took 4 tires, made a small air pressure adjustment, was a tiny bit loose after being tight early on in the event, but more importantly, as soon as he's done with this race, Mark, he's headed to Sturgis.
Ron Hornaday running in that 6th position, 5 seconds now behind the leaders. He led this group of cars on the restart. Right now, Ricky Byers is saying the car is fine, but they just need a long run to reel in the cars in front now.
Is this the bid that gets Brian Vickers the lead?
He had a good run, but he can't get down in the corner. Now this time he has a great run in the center of the corner. Maybe this might be it.
Not yet.
Oh, it's one of the things you gotta love about this racetrack. Progressive banking. Less banking at the bottom than up top. The shorter way around is not necessarily the fastest.
I tell you, Vickers gets such a great run off each corner, but it's just hard. He cannot roll through the center of the corner with Shane, because Shane's taking his line away, so it's going to be tough. He's going to have to get a really good run off the corner to try to clear him before they can get into the next one.
He's not giving up. He continues to try, hoping that the 48 car will just slip a little bit.
There he is on the apron again. He's trying it.
All 4 of them below the line. What's this, about the 15th or 20th lap that he's taken a look underneath him? Look, fall back, look, fall back.
And here's Jason Keller right behind him, going by Scott Wimmer on the outside in the 57 car.
Yep, that's for 3rd place. Lap traffic there in front of the leaders.
That'll work right there. Let's go get some more now. Get some more.
Jerry Reary in his NASCAR Busch Series debut in the 39 gives the front couple some running room.
I tell you, those guys running side by side too. We'll let Jason Keller close up to them, and Vickers got to make a decision. If he cannot make the pass, Jason Keller's going to trap him down on the inside, try to, and follow the 48 by him. So he's got some decisions to make here. He better try to make the pass real quick before the 57 gets there.
Lap car of Larry Gunselman ahead.
Trial
Contact. He backed out of it.
Man, oh man, that was so close.
Wow. The lap car was closing the lane. He was running up on quick, and he had to get back in line.
And did he do damage to that right front fender? I mean, yeah, this is a short racetrack, but they're still running 100 miles per hour, and downforce does mean something.
Let's go back and look at it.
Going down in turn 1, there you see the contact.
Wow, that was close.
It was close.
Both guys did a great job.
The damage on that right front fender of Brian Vickers' car.
We see way too much up here in the booth. I'm about to lose my cool up here. Too much stuff going on.
Oh, it's great, though, isn't it?
It is.
You're glad you came out tonight. I know you are.
I am that.
Vickers dogging Shane Meal, persistently trying to find a way around. If either one of these 2 guys wins, it'd be their first NASCAR Busch Series victory, and this is a track that's been very friendly to first-time winners. 4 times in the past, the guy has picked up his first Busch Series win here at IRP. Butch Miller in 1986, Joe Nemechek in 92, Tracy Leslie in 93, and none other than the 3rd-place driver, Jason Keller, 1995.
Oh, that time Shane Meal ran across the slower car, almost got in the back of him, came down the hill, almost got in contact with the 5 car of Brian Vickers.
He doesn't it gets much better than this. I mean, two guys going for their first win.
There you see that slow car. Vickers almost gets in the back of him, has to hit the brakes, but then he comes down to try to block Vickers.
That was actually a great move by Shane. He knew his momentum was slowed down so much by the lap car. He saw Vickers going to the inside. He moved down to block. Great job on his part, protecting the lead right there.
And see, everybody complains about lap cars. I love them. I mean, this is great.
They are adding excitement to this race.
Adding a lot of drama to this, I think.
I do agree with you.
Oh, here we go. Here's a good run. Vickers, he had a good run.
Not that time. And here comes Scott Wimmer joining the fight. How about a four-way race for the lead as we get to 25 to go?
Nobody, 25 to go.
25 to go. The spotter's telling the drivers, get up on that wheel. Let's go.
For me now, all right?
Oh, this is terrific. Here he is again to the inside.
This is drama on TNT at its best, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Promo department, write that for you, or did you come up with that yourself?
Actually, I just thought about that myself, Alan.
Very nice.
I think on my feet sometimes.
We appreciate that. Lap traffic ahead. What's it going to be? 77 car. Dana White. And the 22 car of Brian Tyler.
This could cost Vickers. No, he squeezes in that hole between the two cars.
Both of them went low. How about this 5 car, Ralph? Brian Vickers.
I just checked with crew chief Lance McGrew, Alan, asked him about that fender. He said, yes, there was a little damage, but it's not anything we're going to have to worry about.
Nothing you can do about it anyway at this point.
He sure is using up those front rotors too. I see every time he goes into turn 1 and turn 3 to 5 car, those front rotors are glowing. So he's trying all he can to get under the 48.
You know, the fastest car in this group right now looks like Wimmer, like he's maybe got a little bit more tire left. But passing 4 of them.
All right, here we go. Vickers right here. This is his strong one. Right in the middle of the corner. He's able to get it turned, but he can't use all the racetrack coming off to get that momentum down the backstretch like Shane Meal can.
He has to just tiptoe into turn 3 to keep from sliding up into him and taking them both out.
We've seen a lot of accidents tonight getting into the corner. Up, he's trying it again. See if he can take his line away, getting into the corner. Shane will do that. Makes Brian hold his car down, makes him loose in, but here he gets another good run coming back off the corner.
He's almost there, just a few more feet. He can use the racetrack off the corner. But Vickers realizes that, will not let him have it.
And Wimmer to the outside of Keller for 3rd. Is he going to clear him? Wimmer to 3rd.
Oh, these two kids are doing such a fantastic job out there. Racing like this and not putting each other out. Great job of these two kids.
They are. They're acting definitely like veterans right now. Oh,
run that
he makes
time.
the pass.
Brian Vickers finally clears Shane Meal with 20 laps to go. Now can Scott Wimmer get around Shane Meal and try and do something with Rick Hendrick's driver, Brian Vickers?
There's Rick watching all this.
I'm going to tell you how smart of car Rick Hendrick is. He puts a veteran driver in the car last year with David Green with a young team. Seemed like they ran good every single week. David probably helped them that direction. They put a new driver in it this year. Man, that team is really taking off.
Here comes Scott Wimmer trying to get that Stacker 2 car alongside.
Talking about, baby. Come on.
Come on.
That's my cousin Sam. I can recognize his voice. He's the biggest cheerleader right now.
Yep, just couldn't hook it up in that bottom lane. "11 laps to go in the Kroger 200 NASCAR Busch Series race at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Brian Vickers, after finally taking the lead from Shane Meal, has left him by 2 3/4 seconds. This is the race for second you're looking at. Jason Keller just now squeezing in front of Shane Meal.
Contact between Meal and Jason Keller, and Keller did a fantastic job saving that car. Oh, he did that.
Great job. Looks like he just got loose coming off the corner of turn 2. Shane Meal had a lot of momentum. He pulled up in front of him, gave him a little tap.
There's just that little bit, and man,
Nice save.
great save.
Yes.
So Jason Keller up to second. Shane Meal 3rd. And Scott Wimmer is running back in 4th. Pretty good distance behind them. Stacy Compton, nice recovery from the early spin for 5th. 6th and 7th place were the top 2 in the championship race. David Green is 6th. Scott Briggs has come back to 7th after the tire stop. with 73 to go.
Battle for the third spot still continues.
He's trying everything.
And he's running out of laps. Just 7 more laps to go. Here, Wimmer comes off the corner. Almost make contact, but he has a good run.
This guy's got to be just sliding around out there.
Oh, yeah.
Nice job by Shane Meal. I know he's not going to get the win tonight, but he's driven a very, very solid race.
He really has. Had a good race car and used it to its maximum.
Yeah, to sit on the pole tonight and lead more laps tonight than he had all year long. And held Brian Vickers off for a long, long time. Great, clean racing.
How about this? Scott Riggs coming back from the tire stop, trying to take 6th away from David Green. Might turn out to be a plus points night.
What a comeback for Scott Riggs. I mean, he was mired back from 15th to 20th all night long, and just about 50 laps ago, as they run, still 2 points between the two.
Just the other way around.
Yeah.
It was Scott over David by 2 points when the green flag waved. All right, back up to 3rd. Wimmer hasn't given up yet in that 23.
4 to try him. 4 more times.
Just to follow up on the 10 car, my hat's off to Scott Riggs for the job he's done, and also the decisions that Doug Randolph and that crew have made in that pit area tonight.
Great call to come in. Great call to come in. Nothing to lose. I know track position is very important, but to come in that far back on the lead lap, to take that gamble, that's what points championships are won by. Chances like that.
Brian Vickers well out in front by 2 3/4 seconds over Jason Keller, who's opened up almost 2 seconds on this race for 3rd place. It looks like it's going to be the hot spot in these final couple of laps. Shane Meal in the 48, Scott Wimmer in the 23, trying to hold him off.
As he's got a lap and a half to go, he's going to win his first NASCAR Busch Series race.
I know he is either crying or smiling ear to ear right now with 1 lap.
Oh, contact! The synchronized spins in turn 3 in the race for 3rd place. The white flag is out. The caution has not waved. Brian Vickers is on the final lap of this race. Even if the caution waves now, they're racing back to the checkered flag.
And the track is clear.
Yep. 19-year-old Brian Vickers driving for Rick Hendrick is going to take the checkered flag and become a first-time NASCAR Busch Series winner.
We're down here with Brian Vickers. How does it feel? First Busch win. You hadn't been crack 20 years old yet.
It feels awesome. Shane, right here, we had a good race, buddy. That was fun. Woo, that was it. That's right. That's local racing right there, short track racing. I can't say enough for his GMAC CarQuest Chevy, Ricky. They gave me this opportunity of a lifetime. And the guys did an awesome job tonight. You know, we let him go there at the beginning of that last run. We saved our stuff. He burnt some of his up, and we got him at the end. That's when it counted.
At what point did you feel like, I've got to make the move, and I think I can make it stick this time?
When the 23 and the 57 was coming strong, that's when it was time to go.
So talk about the pass itself. I mean, you tried.
Shane's a good racer. We raced hard. He was knifing me. He was cutting me off. He was doing what he had to do. I was rubbing him. I was trying to push him up. It was an awesome race. I had a lot of fun. And sitting here in victory lane is not too bad.
One got away at Texas. How does it feel to finally back up what you think this team was capable of all along?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, it feels unbelievable. You know, this team deserves this. Chevy deserves this. GMAC CarQuest. They've supported us through the ups and downs, everything. Rick, right here, come here. Ricky, he supported me through the whole deal. Ricky, come here. Come here, Ricky. He supported me this whole. Ricky picked me to drive this car, and it was an awesome opportunity. I thank him, the world of them. We want to say, get well, Bobby. God bless. We're praying for you. Hope everything is well.
But Brian Vickers, man of the night tonight, taking the lead with 11 laps to go. Or excuse me, 19 laps to go. I'm sorry, and hung on for his first NASCAR Busch Series win.
Mike Skinner has a pretty good run, finishing in the 7th spot in the 7 car.
Sure did.
And there you see Wimmer back in 12th.
Kevin Grubb last on the lead lap in 15th position. Marty Lindley, first car, 1 lap down.
And he ran with the leaders there the last 50 laps or so.
And Tammy Jo Kirk, last of those who did not have any significant problems on the night, 29th position. Now a lot of the guys who spent time behind the wall or did not finish, including Bobby Hamilton Jr. Another big hit in the championship standings for him tonight. Oil leak early in the race, spent many laps behind the wall before finally calling it quits for the evening. And the championship fight in the NASCAR Busch Series, just as good leaving as it was coming in.
That Brian Vickers moved up to 5th spot. He's only 99 points back.